guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have the medic on my YouTube channel, and I haven't actually, no, it hasn't taken that much convincing. I've asked a few times, had to beg a little bit, but now we're here. Like, you know. So this is Tomi. You can introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I am Tomi.
The medic.
Tomi the medic. 26, and I go to uni with Rumby.
So we're both final year medical students. We're both postgrads, and we thought we'll do a video just about like the postgrad experience, how you ended up studying medicine, like what your journey has been. I've talked about mine on YouTube before. There is a story time where I talked about like midwifery and then like going for interviews, not getting the interviews, being a complete shambles, things like that. So there is a video out there of me telling you these things. So just wanted to chat to you about like how did you end up here in final year of medicine?
Okay, gosh, this is quite a long story, but I will try to summarise.
Sum it up.
So I always knew that I wanted to study medicine from like the age of 6. I just always wanted to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So as we do, you go to school. I just went to normal comprehensive school, and then went to sixth form, and everything that I did like from year 9 onwards was to get into medical school. So all the subjects that I chose for like GCSEs, for A levels, was to get into medical school. I did maths, biology, chemistry and psychology for A levels. So I applied for medicine at A level. I didn't get any interviews. So I applied for medicine, 3 for medicine and 2 for biomed, I think, 2 universities for biomed. So I ended up going to the University of Birmingham to do medical science, which I actually, it was very challenging, but it was a really good experience because I got to meet so many friends and people that are all like my sisters up until now. So I would never change that experience for the world. Then after I went to Birmingham, I applied again in my 3rd year of my degree in Birmingham. And I didn't get accepted yet again. So in my 3rd year of uni, I applied again, did the UK CAT all over again and everything, still didn't get any offers. And then after my 3rd year of uni, I worked as a tuberculosis administrator at Whipsworth Hospital in London for a year, just to get experience in the clinical environment. It was going to look better on my personal statement if I had like a whole year's experience working in a chest clinic in a hospital, so I could understand like patient interactions and how the doctors work and how the clinic was run and stuff like that. So that's what I did for that year, and then I applied for medicine again during that year, and luckily enough I got an interview in Birmingham, which was my previous university, and in Belfast, and then I ended up getting a place in Belfast from that interview. But during that time, I think the previous 2 times, I would say like I did prepare, but the 3rd time I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna prepare for this like it's like the biggest examination of my life, which at the time it was, because it's getting in that's the most important part. Like once you're in, like it's smooth, like it's not really smooth sailing, but like like you're just gonna be going from year 1 to year 2, 3, 4 to 5. But it's the getting in, it's the putting your foot in the door. So I think I kept like putting out stuff about just topics like euthanasia, confidentiality, patient safety. I read so many like books. I did practice with my brother, who's also a doctor. I was practicing with him, just different questions, and it also depends on which university you're applying to as well, and you need to know what interview styles they have. So I knew that Belfast was MMI situation, so we just kept practicing loads of different situations. He would help me with my answers, and then my personal statement, I wrote it myself, but also I sent it to both my brothers for them to critique and just look at it, and then I sent it to my friend just for like grammar and stuff like that. So I would say, if you're writing a personal statement, don't just write it by yourself. If you don't have anybody that's in medicine or dentistry or any of those courses, you can still use someone who might be studying English, or an uncle and aunt who is good at like just reading and helping you critique stuff, because it's all well and good having the kind of like scientific stuff inside there, but you also need to make sure that it reads well. You need to make sure that it flows, So it's important to ensure that you get people to read your personal statement. It's important that you get experience, because that is one thing that is really important. But I would just say, when you're looking and trying to choose your universities, it's important to firstly know, okay, what do I have for my A levels in terms of your grades? If you have gone to university and you're a graduate, okay, so what do I have for my degree? And then also research, does that university actually take your degree? Because so I think it's important to make sure you research the universities, you tailor the universities to your own kind of academic credentials.
Because medicine is medicine at the end of the day. Like, whether we do it here or at Oxford, like, we're still going to be doctors. So apply for unis that match what you have to offer them.
Definitely. I stand by that, because a lot of people want to stay in London. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I could never see myself in a city like we are here in Belfast. But at the end of the day, it's 5 years out of what you're on average 80 years in this earth. Like, it's 5 years. The 5 years have gone by so quickly. Like, they've gone by so quickly. We literally blinked
and here we are.
And here we are. We are 2 months before our finals.
Mad.
We are like 5 months before we finish the whole degree. It's crazy. It goes by so quickly. And I just feel like wherever you are, you just need to embrace the environment, make friends, just embrace where you are. And at the end of the day, I think each university is oversubscribed. We have probably like 2,000 people applying for, there's 250 of us on our course in each year. So for you to even get there in the first place, like, you're so lucky. So I just think, yes, like, being in Belfast is different to being in London and having to catch flights to see my family. It's just all a bit long sometimes. But at the same time, I just always think, oh my gosh, I'm so privileged that I was able to get into Belfast, that I was able to actually come to this university, do the course that I've always wanted to do. And now I've applied for my F1 outside of Belfast. So I'm going to be going back to England anyways. And it's been a wonderful time. Got to meet Rumbi. And we've made so many other, like, loads of other friends that, like, we're all like sisters now. We're going to keep for life. But it has been a journey.
Now, a lot of people apply for graduate entry 4-year courses. We're in a 5-year course. Did you apply for any 4-year ones?
No, because I have 2 brothers. One's a dentist and one is a medic. So they had, like, been through the process. One of my brothers applied 4 times. One of them applied 2 times, I think. So they were always the ones advising me on what to do. And the graduate courses are so competitive. They're
like
very,
40
very
places or like 50 places.
Very, very competitive. And I just feel like if you know that, in GCSEs you got like 10 A stars, in A level you got all A's or all A stars, and then for your degree you got a first, then yeah, maybe. But I just feel like for the average person, you're more likely to get into an undergraduate course than you are a graduate course. And yes, I know it's 1 more year of having to pay extra money, but I just think it's literally what is 1 more year compared to you becoming a doctor and having a job and working in the dream job that you want to. That was the comparison that I made when I was applying, and off the advice of my brothers as well. I was like, I might as well just go for the 5-year course.
What I found really interesting is when I was applying, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be so old when we finish. Everyone's going to be so much younger than me, this, that, and the third. Actually, we're not. It's so strange. I think we're really young. So one of the people in the year above us, me and him, went to the same school, like went to the high school at the same time, and etc. Same one. He took a gap year, then went into medicine, then he intercalated. I did another degree, and then he just finished a year before me. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's an F1 and I'm a final year. And he went straight into medicine. I did a whole other degree, and yet there's just a year between us professionally. Once we start working, people will be having babies, people will be taking time. You know, who's to say that I'm not going to be a consultant before friends of mine that went to medicine at 18?
It's true. And that's one thing, because sometimes you do get a bit down because
Yes.
like a lot of my friends, they work in the corporate world, and like they seem to be just, you know, soaring and climbing their own career ladders. And I'm literally like, I'm a 26-year-old fam, like my overdraft is whee!
Let's not even talk about that.
I have no source of like monthly income, like it's all a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I am going to graduate, I'm gonna become a doctor,
Exactly.
and that is what I've wanted for such a long time. So I just think it's important just not compare yourself, and not to compare your life to other people's lives, because at the end of the day we are on different paths. We've chosen this path, and I don't know, you can't really blame anybody else apart from yourself. Like, you wanted to become a doctor.
Exactly.
This
is why I'm here.
That is why we are here.
And would you believe, in America, you have to do your 4 years undergrad and then 4 years postgrad anyway.
Yeah. So that's hella long though.
I know.
But I remember I saw one quote on Instagram, and it was like, I think the person was 25 years old, and they were saying to their mum, like, oh mum, like I really want to do medicine, but I'm 25 years old, like I'm so old. And she was like, well, you might as well be a doctor at 30.
Exactly.
Like, you might as well.
Exactly.
It's just like having a second uni experience.
Yes.
So went to uni the first time and second time, they've both been different experiences, but I just think as a more matured student, I've been able to take some of the skills that I learned in the first degree and transported it into this degree. So things like having to present like presentation.
Yes.
A lot of people who came as school leavers have never had to present like a PowerPoint presentation in like a scientific way before. So I was like, know how to do that already. A lot of the content that we learned in the first 2 years kind of correlated to medical science. And also things like essay writing. It wasn't new to me how to write an essay, whereas a lot of the school leavers had to learn how to write essays. So there's a lot of kind of attributes and things that I took from my previous degree into this degree as well.
Would there be any like parting words of wisdom that you would give to anyone that's applying for graduate medicine, or anyone that's a graduate? Like, there's lots, before I ask you this, there's lots of people in our year that are way beyond 26, that are children, married, you know, maybe not children, not married, but just coming back to do a new...
There's like 30-year-olds.
Exactly.
40-year-olds.
Exactly. So however your age, if this is something that you are passionate about, that you want to do, then don't let age deter you. It's really... And you'll find your niche. I thought I was at 21, I was going to uni and I was going to be old and everyone's going to be 18 and I was going to find friends. Guess what? I found friends. So you'll find your crowd, you'll find your people. Yeah. Doesn't matter your age.
I would say just go for it. Don't think about, oh, I'm old, or I've already got this degree, that degree. And also another important factor is that if you're thinking about doing medicine, but you've got a degree in, for example, geography, in maths, in the arts, go for it, because there are so many people on our course who did geography. One of my friends did mathematics, and now she's going to be a doctor. Like, the correlation, there is no correlation. So I would say go for it. If it's your dream, if it's something that you want to do, if it's something that you aspire to be, go for it. Work hard. Like anything, you have to work hard at it. It's not going to come to you on a silver platter. So if you're applying for the different universities, make sure that you get books and you start reading for interviews. Make sure that you're constantly looking online, looking at new guidance, looking at the huge topics for medicine in terms of autonomy, confidentiality, patient safety, euthanasia, those big topics. Make sure you read up about them. Make sure you actually ask for help from people. If you know people who are either in medical school already, and people who are already doctors, don't feel scared to ask for help, because I always ask for help, because that could change your destiny. So always ask for help if you need the help. In terms of your personal statement, just make sure you get as much experience as possible, and get someone to help you read it as well. Get someone to read the grammar, to make sure that it flows, to make sure that it all makes sense. But just go for it. Yeah.
That's it. Wise words. Thank you so much, Tomi. Thank you for being on my channel. Hopefully I can convince you to come back for more videos.
I'll be here, girl.
But yes, please follow Tomi at TomiTheMedic on Instagram. She may or may not accept your follow request, but you can try. Have a nice profile picture. Maybe slide in the DMs a nice hello. How you doing? Then maybe she might accept you. But yes, at TomiTheMedic. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome. Bye, guys. Until next time.
Yay.
Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.